Alright, welcome back everyone to my channel. It's been quite a long time since my last video on this channel, and a lot of things changed in these 3 years. So before I start talking about my experience with the Division 2 beta, I want to quickly address the elephant, or in this case, elephants in the room. First of all, if you're an old subscriber to this channel, the obvious thing you'll notice is that I'm not speaking in my native language. Reason being, in the last 3 years, I moved from my home country of Bosnia and Herzegovina to the greatest city in the world, New York, to continue my acting career, and it's been going great so far, so let's not jinx that. If you're new to this channel, you'll notice that in addition to a weird accent, that all the videos before this one are done in a Russian sounding language, so the best thing to do is just ignore them for the time being and just do not click on them. Or if you just want to see what I was doing before this video, go ahead, click on it. I don't know. Good luck, I guess. There's a couple of reasons why I stopped creating videos for YouTube, and I'll briefly address them. If you're not interested in that part of the story, no hard feelings, just skip ahead and let's talk about the Division 2 beta, alright? When I initially started this channel, I wanted to create professional reviews for gamers from my country and the surrounding countries. I didn't want to do a Let's Play channel with juvenile commentary catering to kids. I wanted to have a channel with videos that would feel and sound professionally produced, with the goal of helping people decide if they should buy a specific game or not. But considering that it's Eastern Europe, they would pirate it either way, so it didn't matter in the end. I stopped creating videos because I was impatient. I thought that once I produce a good video, or at least in my head they were great videos, I would get thousands of views in a matter of days, but as we all know, that's never the case with YouTube unless you are already established, which comes with a lot of hard work and patience. And that's the one of the lessons I'm taking with me with this new quotation marks start. Another reason I stopped was because I stopped having fun playing games. I found myself trying to get through a newly released game in a matter of days just to be able to write and produce a review for it as soon as possible, and that becomes really tiring really fast, especially if you have to burn through a game you waited for years prior to that. So I didn't feel any satisfaction doing those reviews anymore. With that said, going forward, I won't do reviews like that anymore, just for the sake of being the first one to post a review of a new game on YouTube. There's no way I'm gonna play through Devil May Cry in just a day so I can post a review the next day. No, I waited for Devil May Cry 5 for, it's been, I think, more than 10 years now, and I'm sure as hell gonna enjoy that game before I decide to write a review on that. With that said, you or anyone who comes to this channel, the new people, you will get an even better opinion and evaluation on upcoming games, because I will first play them out of pleasure before letting you know if you should play them out of pleasure. But the thing with opinions is that it's just an opinion, so if I say that a game is not good, that does not necessarily mean that you shouldn't play it. If you try the game and you like it, but I'm saying that it's not good, you should just play it. Just enjoy life. It's life. It's a choice. Just do whatever you want. With all that said, let's talk about the Division 2 beta, shall we? Which took place over this past weekend. Ironically, my first gaming related video on this channel was about the first Division beta back in 2016, so I guess let's see what the newest Division game is bringing to the table. I'm going to talk from a solo perspective, mostly because I don't have a lot of online friends with whom I can play with, and because I wanted to see how the solo play compares to the first Division. I played through the first game last summer, completely solo, and honestly, I had a great experience. I enjoyed the story and the atmosphere and the general gameplay of the first game, even though it was a little bit repetitive, can't deny that. But I was lucky enough not to buy into the game at launch, and I snagged it for about $15 on a sale with all the expansion packs included. So playing the beta for the second game felt pretty much the same. At no point did I feel overwhelmed as a solo player, and all encounters felt manageable. So The biggest change you might have noticed is the city the story of the Division 2 takes place. We moved from snowy New York is the best, to Washington, DC, and lo and behold, it's summer and there's no snow to be seen at all, which brings me to my first point. The graphics. What the hell happened? I mean, the Division 2 might technically look better than the first Division, but in my subjective opinion, I think the first game looks better. Sure, the new one has a lot of vegetation. Honestly, something about the lighting in the beta felt just off, or might I say, it felt flat at some points. I don't know, maybe it's because of the lack of snow, or because I liked the New York setting more. New York is the best. I can't quite put my finger on it. I found myself just heading to the graphics menu all the time just to see if maybe I missed some setting that I didn't crank up, but it was all running on high. And the worst thing is there's no way to change your AA settings, so the game kind of forces you to use, I don't know, I think it's TAA, and it's just weird. At points the game would look gorgeous, but most of the time I was just like scratching my head out of confusion, because most of the time the Division 2 looks far worse than the first game, in my subjective opinion. I saw a lot of tech analysis videos on YouTube, and they are praising the shit out of the visuals, but when you look at the comments, you'll see that a lot of people are disagreeing with those videos, so I don't know what's going on there. But as said, visuals aren't everything, so let's see how it plays. And gameplay-wise, it's pretty much the same as the first one, which is a good thing. I loved the shooting mechanics of the first Division, and it still feels great in the second game. I mean, I love the cover system, and landing headshots, still feels super satisfying. The main difference to the first game is that now the player character, or our player character, has armor instead of just a health bar, which is also good, especially if you're playing solo. And med kits are armor kits now. The game is still pretty much an RPG hidden by its third-person shooter gameplay, and if you didn't like that the enemies in the first game were bullet sponges, you won't like it in this one either. So, as said, at its core, it's an RPG, and if you have a high damage gun, you'll be able to mow down enemies a lot quicker. If you don't, be prepared to shoot 5 magazines into this one skinny guy charging at you with a bat. Mission and story-wise, it felt also similar to the first game. The virus from the first game has spread to the rest of the world, and as a Division agent, you're now in the DC trying to clean up a big mess. One of the factions that I encountered was, they were called the Hyenas, and they pretty much felt the same as the Vandals in the first game. Which I realize that there's a theme going on here of repetition, of looking exactly and feeling exactly like the first game. For example, the first main mission felt exactly the same as the first mission in the first Division, which was the Madison Square Garden mission, where you had to, where literally even the beginning of the mission was the same. You come up to this building, there's a big explosion, in this case the back door opens, explodes, you kill off a couple of goons, you fight your way through a couple of floors, and you get to the rooftop, you kill the big high-level enemy, you loot him, you defend the building, and it's mission over. So, I don't know. I mean, they tried to change it a little bit, but it felt literally the same as the first mission in the first Division. The side missions felt a little bit longer than in the first game. For example, I saw this one side mission where I had to save some hostages, and remembering the first game where you just come into a convenience store, you kill the goons, and you just unlock the door, and that's it. That's your side mission. But I was caught off guard in this case. I came in, I shot the goons, checked the first floor, nope, the hostages were dead, so I went to the second floor, killed the goons again, opened the doors, and I found the hostages, and I thought, oh, that's it, now I can go and continue exploring, but nope, They just threw a little twist at me and goons started attacking back, so I had to defend the hostages first before they got released, which it's not a big change, but it's a better change compared to the first game, which had a lot of repetitive missions. So I'm fine with that, because even though it is repetitive, I really enjoyed playing the first division and all those repetitive missions. It's fine, so a little change is not bad in this one. Also, there's a lot of new upgrade opportunities. You help a settlement in this case, and they will send supplies to your base of operation, which in turn lets you upgrade your abilities. I'm really salty that I did not get to use the pulse ability in the beta, since that was one of my favorite abilities in the first game, especially when you're playing solo. Judging by the beta, the Division 2 is just going to be what the Division 1 was supposed to be at launch, but ended up being after it was patched and fixed years later, which is not completely a bad thing, but playing with other people, I guess, will surely be a blast, and I think that down the line I'll jump in to play through it solo. The biggest question that remains to be answered is how is Ubisoft going to handle microtransactions? I can't even say the word, since they can basically make or break a game, especially considering that they already offer a bigger stash size for the ultimate editions of the game, which is crazy in my opinion. The first division had microtransactions, but they were mostly just visuals, so I don't know what to expect in the new one. I guess time will tell. The Division 2 will release on March 15th, and I really hope that Ubisoft and Massive won't mess up the launch of the game like they did with the first one. And as of now, I'm just going to wait till a couple of months after the release before deciding if I'm jumping in or not. Maybe I'll get it on another $15 sale, you never know. Let me know your thoughts on the Division 2 beta. Have you played it? Do you think it looks worse than the first game? And I'll see you all in my next video, I guess. And I promise you won't have to wait 3 years for it. It's fine, okay? And bear with me with the accent. I'm not overproducing anymore. Not anymore.